Hi, everyone. I am delighted to be in conversation today with Kolodney, whose channeling I've been following for quite some months now, which is incredibly pure and incredibly loving and incredibly helpful for where we're going as humanity. Welcome, Kelly.
Thank you, Pam. I am so delighted to be here with you and your audience. So delighted. Thank you so much.
It's a real honor, actually. It really is. So, for those of you who don't know Kelly, just to share some of her background, she's a renowned spiritual channel and intuitive guide who's been serving as a divine conduit for the Angel Raphael, ascended masters, and star beings since the late 1980s. And her journey began with a spontaneous and profound awakening that opened her connection to celestial realms, initiating a lifelong mission of service to humanity during this great planetary shift. A core part of Kelly's sacred mission is to assist humanity in stepping into new earth. So you can understand why this is kind of music to my ears. A higher vibrational reality rooted in unity consciousness, love, and co creation. As part of this work, she's downloaded 55 light codes from the Angel Raphael, designed to activate the light body and awaken the dormant divine blueprint within each individual. The vibration of these live and recorded light code transmissions act as energetic keys to help people expand their consciousness, embody their multidimensional self, and become citizens of love. Love it. So Kelly has a super active YouTube channel with a lot of free content on it. She works incredibly hard. She offers free Ask an Angel calls, also donation-based activations and light code transmissions to support the collective evolution of humanity. With each message she delivers, she reminds us of our connection to Source, our innate power, and our role in birthing a new earth. Super excited. And I actually participated in one of the Light Code courses you're running recently, Kelly, which was the Choice Point, which I absolutely loved. And you'd gone down to Mexico and spent weeks in the pyramids with the shamans. And boy, did you bring back some magic for us from that trip into the course. It was magnificent. Really honor you and your work. So thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Pam. They send me on many journeys around the world to do grid work, and sometimes it's exhausting, but it brings the magic for sure.
Yeah, you are absolutely on a mission. So I'd love in today's session, Kelly, to ask the Angel Raphael some questions. But before we start that, you might just anything you want to share with the audience and maybe how you get into your channeling, which is maybe a little bit different to how other channelers do it.
Yeah, so I never thought to channel. I wasn't looking to channel. Channeling just happened to me through a spontaneous awakening in the late 80s. And so my process is that I make these toning sounds like that. And my hands kind of move around and I rock a little bit. And then the Archangel Raphael comes in and says, hello. And then whoever I'm talking to says hello back. And that's how our energy syncs up, and then Raphael often comes in and will share a message or say, what is it? What do you want to talk about? And then we can have a dialogue.
Fabulous. Okay, so yeah, I never know what to expect from the Angel Raphael because it's always such original material as well. So yeah, super exciting. So we will just give you a moment, Kelly, to begin, and I'll
Okay.
be the person responding, saying hello to get into the questions.
Okay. First of all, we're just tuning in, everyone taking a nice deep breath and moving into your heart center. You might want to just say to yourself, I love you.
I love you.
I love you. Ow, 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 ow. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, 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 hello. Ow, ow. We are very very delighted to be here and to attune to you and your magnificent and beautiful energy, for we are old friends. And it is that you and I have been together and walked the lands as light beings and swam with the dolphins and the whales, and your energy is emanating so much light. And yet we recognize that you have descended into matter and to form at this time to open the hearts and the minds of others as you are rippling light, and it is cascading through all universes as you attune to the maps of the stars. And so we are wanting, from our perspective in the angelic realm, to bring gratitude to you for your service and all it is that you do, for perhaps you cannot see it necessarily always from your perspective, but from where it is that we are, we see the light shimmering and emanating out like a web across the globe. And so, with that, I am Archangel Raphael. I am an angel of healing, and I have descended into form to bring messages of love and light. I am a spiral that descends all the way deep into the core of the earth, and yet I rise up into the heavens beyond dimensions known from where it is that you are. And I may be perceived as an angel with a robe and wings, and yet that is the construct in which many can perceive or understand me. But I am an emanation of light and come from a collective. And it is that this collective is merging and coming into unison as you are in the form of matter in which you are cloaked on here on earth. And so as you come into union and equality within one another, you are not just affecting your great mother, the earth, and your planet, but all of the global citizens around all planets, connecting within the galactic realms. And so we are here today to communicate, to love you, and to open space for healing and for miracles. And so, what is it you're wanting to talk about?
Wow, Angel Raphael, thank you so much for that gift. I'm very moved by that. Bless you. Thank you so much. That's very special to me. What I would love to ask is, you were very clear about when we were going into the equinox, the March equinox, that, and I'm quoting your words here, that this was a major choice point for humanity, where the collective had the potential to take a quantum leap. And you actually said humanity is at a junction like no other. So I'd like to ask, how did we do?
Oh, you are doing fabulous. And although you may not perceive it that way from one's perspective, as you are still operating from looking outside of self to evaluate or to measure what is going on, we are recognizing that from the internal and biological and cellular perspective, you are right on target. And you are in a period of gestation, a cocooning time in which much is shifting and changing inside of you. And as this is happening, it is not always necessarily known or perceived. Sometimes we give the example of a baby inside the womb, and you are there, and yet the mother cannot always feel in those early fluttering moments the growth that is occurring, and yet it is happening at an exponential rate. And so you, as a collective, are moving through a process that is like no other, and it is exponential. And some of you may feel it very deeply, and others perhaps not so much. But your literal biology is changing, and you are evolving before your very eyes. This is not something that, through conscious perspective, has been done in a very long time, nor on your planet in this particular way. And so you will be able to look back over the process of linear time in which you perceive your experience and notice actual physical changes and ways of perception and being within your own anatomy and your light body that were not seen before. And so we are delighted to participate as your galactic family with all of this, because as you make this evolutionary leap in your consciousness, of course, it ripples out and is deeply connected through threads of light and envelopes of energies of light that are descending deep beneath and within your earth and into dimensions above, within the 0 point at this time that affect us where we are. And so we are very, very, very invested in this process going well and delighted to report that you are, yes, on track.
That is really beautiful. And could you describe some of these biological changes that you're seeing, please, Angel Raphael?
You're going to start to notice shimmering and shifts. Some might call it like a glitching in the matrix, meaning your vibrational reality that has been encased in matter and in which you have been contracted within that to move through space and time is beginning to open up. And you are becoming more light as the plasmic light and the sun is emanating these codes that are descending. They are literally hitting inside your DNA. And as this is occurring, there is an uncoiling that is taking place, an evolutionary leap within an awakening inside of you. This awakening is not happening somewhere in the distant lands or something that can be perceived outside, but an internal alarm that is awakening and taking place. And as that evolutionary leap takes place, you will begin to notice that many gifts will start to come online, and you will have the potentiality for many who are already doing so to communicate, such as I at this time and communicating through this one, this particular way of connection and communicating with galactic beings, ascended masters, and angelic energies will become very commonplace. Your ability to attune and to connect and communicate with the animals and to receive telepathic communication in relationship to them will be deeply amplified, and you will notice a stronger resonance. Your ability to hear and to see the musical spheres of energy that are descending upon the planet as orbs of light will become prominent and will begin to present themselves over geographical locations and grid points along your planet to activate your ley lines. You will begin to be able to hear voices in ways you have not, and the energies of your I am that I am presence as it will speak to you with greater potency and more clarity. You will be able to bring your energetic field to another place, inject it there, and create a connection to certain places in order to do work. You will have the potentiality for spontaneous and miraculous healing as you come into alignment with the highest aspect of who it is that you are. You will be able to attune to the beings of light from all different realities, and light itself in you will come into relationship and communication. Begin to notice as light even comes in and flickers perhaps on your wall, and begin to attune and to communicate with it, and it will begin to speak to you. Energies may come in and appear or disappear. The molecular structure may expand and contract, in which you can literally move through objects. All of these things seem like a big fantasy, and that sounds great, but how can that possibly be true? And yet it is. And we are encouraging all of you to begin to share these miraculous encounters and experiences of synchronicity and joy and bliss and telepathic communication with one another, not to keep it secret or not to hold it tight as if someone might think you're crazy or you don't know what you're talking about or that isn't possible or true, but to open up to the possibility that all of this is part of your innate intelligence and is awakening inside of you. And that the more you communicate and share your stories of magic and connection and communication with each other, you'll begin to reaffirm and bring into the collective that all of that is possible. And as you collectively move into the full knowing and belief that it is so, it becomes to become a resonance in which you is a mirrored reflection within your reality. And you begin to recognize that you, as a collective human consciousness, are spiraling into dimensions in which you have never reached before, into places in which have never been touched, while still maintaining the form of a human body and the senses and the joy and the bliss of being in this magnificent planet that you call Earth. This is something that has never happened. And so it is an extraordinary time to be alive. And we are encouraging you to embrace the magic and this flow of energy and to know that it is there and has always been there for you.
That's so beautiful, Angel Raphael. Thank you so much for creating that vision for us. It really is so exciting. Because you've referred to being in the womb space that we've just entered really at this equinox. And you've talked about this gestation period leading up to the Capricorn solstice, the winter solstice in the Northern Hemisphere. And you've been quite specific about that point in time. And obviously, as humanity, we are co creating our reality as well. But is there any specific event or evolutionary happening at that time that can help us understand why you've defined the Capricorn solstice as being important as the end of this gestation period? What state are we going to be in as humanity at that point?
Well, there are many phases in which you're going to go through, just like when one is pregnant, between now and that time of this great birth and awakening. However, we must clarify that not everyone was going to go through this metamorphosis process simultaneously, but many are who are attuned to this specific vibration shall. There is going to be what we would talk about as some turbulence that might be coming up during this period, and which fear may come up or arise prior to that. And yet, this is where we are inviting and asking all of you to hold steady and to continue to have your energy, your vibration, your vision on what it is that you are giving birth to. Sometimes when you are, or another, or someone is pregnant, and they are in this gestation period, when they come to the time of labor and they are consumed by perhaps the painful process, there might even be a forgetting that they are having a baby or while they are even doing this. And so, what we are encouraging all of you at this time is to get very clear as to what it is that you are giving birth to in a collective way as a human race, what it is that you are wanting to bring forward and to create. As you come to this winter solstice period, prior to that, you will be entering into the energetic vibration of what is a portal frequency of the 1212. And the 1212 is the 144 vibration that is connected with what we call the Mother Source creation grid, in which the codes at that time will deeply be amplified and will start to flood your energetic bodies, preparing you like hormones coming in for this birthing process that occurs at this winter solstice. Now, of course, it may or may not be exactly on that particular day, as we should say, but from an energetic purpose, those who have passed through this zero point of the choice point during the spring equinox have made a collective decision to be in this womb space of preparation because they will be what would be might perceived as leaders to move forward holding the vision, the energetic space, the sphere of the new earth in which they are in the parameters outside holding the energetic sphere so that as more go through this cycle of pregnancy and this gestation period of acceleration and growth, they will be able to then enter into this sphere of this experience of what is perceived as this new vibrational field as the new earth or 5D. And so there will be different gestational periods in the next 5 years. But an origin of a seed point of some of the original souls who have chosen to be leaders, should we say, to move forward, are the ones that are the builders, they are the architects, they are the creators, they are the dreamers. And you are in a state of dreaming, creation, and birthing new realities continuously and constantly. But collectively, an enormous amount of you will maintain this vibrational state in order to give birth to the earth in this particular way at this time, in which your reality will dramatically shift, because it is like you were in one place and you had a certain experience, and then as you come through the birth canal, you have to completely adjust to the sound, the color, the light, the voice, the energy, the gravity, all of these frequencies. And that is an entire body, an entire energetic body of beings that are choosing to do that, who are holding the foundation for the planet at this time as they open up spaciousness for others to come through. It is like you are piercing and opening the womb of the area in which the consciousness can birth through. And as it widens, the doorway, the portal, the space there becomes wider and wider as more and more are able to follow and pass through this space during the winter solstice that perhaps to date were not conscious or aware of this process.
Okay, that's really interesting. So the people who moved through at the March equinox are in that first wave, and then there will be subsequent waves of humanity over time. Is that
Yes,
right?
you will not all happen at the same time, but those who are in the original, or as you speak of, first waves, are creating a pathway. And these pathways have been happening for a very long time, but they are becoming more and more and more intense because not everyone is able to dedicate their focus, their time, and their energy to their ascension process, but are working diligently in other sectors and other places. And yet, those who are perceived perhaps as or named as light workers, star seeds, etc., are consciously serving and doing the work to open up this space. And as that occurs, it creates enough of an energetic shift in the vibration that it then energetically, like mycelium, perhaps connecting like grids of light to others, begin to resonate with it and then are able to come through with faster in a sense, just like some may have diligently been doing their spiritual work for decades, and then others all of a sudden have an awakening and they've reached that same state in a quickened place because the foundation was placed before them.
Yeah, because you've talked about the acceleration actually doubling as well.
Yes.
It's going to get
It,
faster and faster.
very, 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 very fast. And your entire system of operating is changing. Your entire grid system on the planet is rebooting, it's coming back on. And so everyone will begin to feel this. Then energy surges moving through their body and shifts occurring and happening. And it is those who are able to stay in the frequency of love and maintain a sense of groundedness and attunement to these vibrations that are pillars for the collective human race to hold a steadiness as these shifts happen and this wobbling happens with the poles and the plates and the land masses and the energies as things are born and birthed all over your globe. This is a stabilizing force that is being asked of all of you who are attuning to these frequencies at this time to activate your light body, to receive the light codes, to attune to these frequencies of love, to be on the journey of your evolution so that you can be the pillars for your communities and for the planet to maintain a sense of equilibrium as you begin to feel these momentous shifts or a feeling as if the earth is literally shaking beneath you, so that you can maintain that stability and emanate that energy around the globe to support your fellow humans.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much. Because you've also talked, Angel Raphael, about a web of connection and communication. There's at the North and South poles that's kind of been offline until recently, and they are now coming back online as portals or stargates to allow travel and communication with other beings, kind of interstellar communication, interstellar travel, and that's going to connect us to other dimensional realities as well. So can you talk a little more about that? That sounded so exciting.
Oh, we are very, very excited about this, and we've been waiting a very long time. But there have been enough of you collectively that have been able to come into particular residence for these stargates to open, meaning your capacity and our capacity to come into union with one another through dimensions up to 12D and beyond, into realms in which is perceived from your perspective as outside of you, dimensions up into the stars and beyond that actually are occurring as dimensions that are inside your biology, that are dimensional realities that reside within you, are also descending down into the core of the earth. And so the galactic core and the inner earth core, parts of the earth in which have not been discovered yet or deeply understood, in which many revelations and revealing of them will come to light as many understandings and revelations will come to light about your galactic family. These energies that, in a sense, were blocked or unable to fully penetrate through these energetic levels inside of you are now awakened, and the doorways are open. And every time you go past or through these momentous shifts of eclipses and equinoxes and solstices and conjuncted energies and star maps that are opening at this accelerated rate in which you are going through, the doorway, as we are talking about just in the birthing process, is becoming wider. And your relationship and connection to all of this is coming online. Your entire grid system that was in a sense, dormant, is rebooting. It is coming back online. And you will see all these discoveries, like you're learning beneath the pyramids. And we think that's quite funny and fun that you're finally beginning to understand. But this will be happening all over your planet. There will be also new life forms that will be birthed as the codes within the water are coming up out of the core of the earth itself, and the melting of the ice and the energies beneath these particular pyramids and these sacred sites and these places in which you were not able to perceive in your reality that might have seemed as if they were not there will appear because you were not in residence with them. But as you come back into residence with them, it is not that certain civilizations have actually disappeared or that they've gone off somewhere and you don't know where they are. They've always been there. They're still there. And as you come into a vibrational match again with these frequencies, they will appear. Now, they might start to first appear by being a structure or something that you discover. That may be the first step in which you can tap into their vibration. But over time, the beings that are there, the interstellar connection and communication, the beautiful technology that is resulted from them, their capacity to for you to connect deep into the both cores of the inner and the outer, the galactic and the inner earth, will come online. And so it is that all of these dimensions that you always perceive outside of you are inside. And as the internal clock and the evolution of your biology expands, you will have more of a resonance with them. And that which you have thought had disappeared has always been right there. And now you'll be able to see it. And so you'll start to physically see things that you could not see before. But we want you to share what you're starting to see and talk about it and open to it so that the floodgates can begin to expand and you can begin to see something that might have been shared in the past as abnormal or supernatural, as normal, as you begin to normalize the fact that you are in communication with the galactic beings, with the blue light beings, with star energies, with fairies, with dragons, with the stones, with the light, with your communication with the water, with the water coming up and washing up its codes along the shore, new life forms being formed, the way you connect with light, all of these things. start to become more commonplace. And you will recognize that civilizations that, from your perspective, had disappeared or are no longer here to connect with have always been here. And you will start to build a connection, a relationship, because you will be in resonance with their vibration. Before, you were too dense to observe, or to notice, or to be aware of these dimensions that you think are somewhere out there that are right here within you.
Yeah, just wonderful to think about, Angel Raphael. And when do you anticipate that we will have open contact with the inner Earth beings and our galactic family in a bigger way? I mean, obviously, many people right now channel galactic beings, but in a much bigger way. When will we start to have open contact?
Well, it is that I made contact with this one in 1989 during the harmonic convergence. And then there was a handful of energies attuning in this way. And now it is very commonplace, but it is happening exponentially. And so you will start to notice changes in your skies and changes in the way in which you connect and communicate with nature and with light and with water. And the fullness of it coming completely online, where perhaps the masses are in acknowledgement and understanding of that, is a time frame in which you're still operating in linear time between now and 2030, 2032, depending upon your ability to release fear and to transmute old energetic energies and patterns that are no longer serving you, and continue to align and choose love in the recognition of your divinity. And so it is that there is not a moment or a pinpoint in which all of this will completely be revealed, but it is happening at an accelerated pace, and it will continue to occur exponentially. And in doing so, from our perception of where it is that you as a human race are developing at this time, it is within a time frame that is within 3 to 5 years. There will, however, be contact even sooner than that, but this is very important because there will be some deception. And although we do not like to speak of that, it will be very important to utilize your discernment and to attune to information that is outside coming in. Is it invoking fear? Or is it invoking unity, equality, love, healing, resonance, and excitement? And if it is invoking fear, or you are being told to be afraid of something, that is not the energy in which we are speaking of, that will guide you into the new earth. And we would encourage you to disconnect from that frequency, because that may be a distraction from true, beautiful energy that is descending upon your planet. And so, one of the most important things at this time for all of you to take into account is to remain in a frequency of compassion, of love, to see one another and your own divinity as a unified way, to release this idea in which you are somehow different or separate, or that there is someone out there to do something or to get you, or that you could be a victim of something, including a victim of energies from galactic star realms, because it is that the energies that are attuning now from star systems to assist you in your evolutionary process are filled with and emanating so much love. And their intention is for healing on a deep quantum level, and to open up pathways within your biology to return to a much higher frequency in the unified field. Because as you are coming into union with oneself and one another, this is creating a rippling effect through all systems in which all life forms are also unifying. And so, if energies are speaking of stories that are creating fear, we highly encourage you not to pay attention to that, to turn your attention somewhere else, to disconnect from it, because that is an illusion and is not based on your star family's descent through love to support you in your biological shifts toward unity and love.
Thank you for that. Yes, very, very wise. Thank you, Angel Raphael. And we're very aware as humanity that we have a great amount of toxicity and pollution in our world in a way that we haven't had in the past. And that involves, of course, the animals, it affects the animals as well as people. As we move forwards, will the earth become detoxified as we move through these months?
Yes, much technology will be developed to support a quickening of this detoxification process. But there must be a remembering and an understanding that you and the earth are a mirrored reflection of one another. So, as others take human responsibility for the detoxing of their physical body and form and come into sacredness around all aspects of self, and especially those in relationship to the elements and to that in which they are ingesting, and to the way words in which they are speaking, and the thoughts that they are having, and detoxifying from these toxic energies. And they become missionaries of light, garments of light, and simply emanating that light as you walk on the planet itself. Those droplets of light become connected to all living things, and they too can go through that process. Because you are on a web of light together, there is a certain amount, percentage in a sense, of beings that need to hold these particular frequencies to affect the collective whole. And so much will be developed, innovation, science, and understanding and ideas to support you in the cleaning and the detoxifying, but it can also happen in the blink of an eye, in the quickening of a moment. And there will be events and situations that may cause a stillness, a quietness for periods of time, an inwardness in which you will be more localized, connected to community, rebalancing and reacquainting yourself with the elements and with earth, and your communication with all living things as you become more in relationship in a sacred way to them. And in doing all of that, when you are in love with the earth, and when you are in love with all that it is offering and all that it has given and blessed all of you with, and you honor it, and you honor your plants, and you speak again to the light, and you talk to the water, and you talk to your food, and you connect and communicate with the animals and the flying ones in the sky, and you love them and you honor them in the way in which the indigenous has shared these teachings, they quickly will come back into balance, because they are always a mirrored reflection of the energy in which one is holding. And so when you are all in balance, the earth will mirror that immediately, and the balance will ripple out across the globe.
Great news. Great news. Thank you, Angel Raphael. And linked to that, many of us are well aware that the Earth is currently more electrified than it has ever been before because of all the satellites up in space, etc. And what will happen in terms of the Earth's electrification? Will that continue to accelerate, or will there be certain happenings that dramatically reduce that electrification? Or are we going to get to such a high frequency that it won't affect us in future?
Ah, well, there are stepping stones. And so not to create any panic or fear, but there will be happenings in which what you consider to be your grid, which we recognize in many respects as artificial, will go down. But it is nothing to be afraid of. It is a beautiful opportunity to connect with one another and to tap into the true grid, the organic grid, what we call the mother source grid, that came online after the eclipse of April 8th. And it is that this grid around the planet is a way of connection and communication with one another. And so as these gifts that we were speaking on have come back online more, your need to communicate through this particular electromagnetic field that is enveloping around your planet will become less and less. It is like it has been a training tool or training wheels to get you ready to find other ways of connecting and communicating. And so there will be steps along the way that will bring you online in a much more organic way in order to facilitate and do all that in which you are already doing that is emanating some very toxic electromagnetic energies that are affecting you on a cellular level that will no longer be in resonance with the earth in the way in which you are moving. And so where it is that I am from, we can connect and communicate from star system to star system without any technology in the way in which you are using. And as you evolve, and this will happen in a quickened pace, and there will be times when the system will go down and it may be perceived as something negative, but it is an opportunity to refine and to attune to these skill sets and return to connection into the earth again. You will begin to amplify these things, and the necessity for the way in which you have been operating to date will no longer be of need.
Mm, very interesting. And how important is our water as the primary evolutionary force in the universe? Please,
Uh,
Raphael.
It is extraordinarily important and cannot be emphasized enough, for it is the water deep within the core of the earth is bubbling up, and held within it are codes. And these codes now are moving into your atmosphere, and you are receiving them on a deep cellular level, and they are participating in the awakening of your DNA. This same primordial water resides in the galactic realms and has come from the galactic core. And they are merging or unifying within the electromagnetic field of your human body as you become the conduits of these codes coming from what might be perceived as above and so below. But in addition to the valuable importance of the water and its consciousness and its process in new life forms being born, depending on the codes in which it is carrying, it is also very important to recognize the importance of light and your connection and ability to communicate with it. Your connection to sound and the spheres of music and envelopes of light that will start to be understood and perceived in your reality, and color itself as new colors will be coming online. And so the water is of extraordinary importance, but there are many other vibrations that will have equal importance that will begin to become more attention brought to them, and discoveries and understanding of their influence and power within and through you.
Wow. And it seems as you're speaking, Angel Raphael, that as we go forward, humanity has been broadly looked at as one species, but as we go forward in this evolution, I'm thinking that are we going to see greater diversity within humanity? That there could be kind of families of frequency or soul groups getting together with a specific purpose, spiritual purpose, and they're all resonating together, and that may actually change their physicality. So we see different groups, greater diversity across humanity. Is that the case?
Yes, well, you will become a galactic family. And it is that you will be attuning to specific vibrations that bring you home, where you are deeply in resonance with it. And then those gifts that are seated inside of you will come online. And yes, there are multiple ones of different energetic, should we almost say, species on your planet that are enveloped in matter and form in the human race that resonate with other particular frequencies that come both from deep within the core of the earth and the galactic core through different star families and systems and energetic vibrations that dwell beneath, that have been held in perhaps cities and places that will be discovered over time, as there will be a revealing of these energies and they come back online. Because you are in residence, you'll be able to feel, sense, and see them. And then you will be attracted energetically to, as you are saying, a conglomerate, a sphere, and a field of energy that is emanating a specific frequency, that has a specific purpose, that is still simultaneously, although perhaps perceived as separate or different, is connected energetically to the whole as you come into being a galactic family of love. And so different temples, in a sense, or energy fields will rise, and others will feel attuned or connected or attracted to these specific places around the globe in which they will be working with an idea of repairing certain energies that need to be repaired, either in the body or in the ley lines or in the electromagnetic field or in the elements, or wherever they are being called to build the new earth. You've been in this phase now and this cycle that's coming to an end, in which you've gone through tremendous transformation, and you've had to release so much energy and karmic imprint, and it hasn't been easy. And we have so much compassion for humans and the emotion and the trauma and the suffering that you've gone through. But although you cannot always feel and sense it right now, you're at the tipping point in which you've passed through and you've left much of this baggage behind. You may still be clearing some of it, but you're entering literally into a new place, into a new world in which these gifts that reside within you and your connection and resonance to others that are holding them come online. And it is a magical, musical, vibrational, beautiful, colored filled frequency that is before you. And we know that in linear time, the mind wants to have a date or a moment. You might be thinking, well, we've been talking about this for so long, and yet my life seems the same, or nothing has changed, or when is it going to happen, or when are we going to ascend? You are ascending into higher frequencies, but just like when you see a child who is 2 and then they are 5, you can notice such growth, but the one with them every moment may not see or perceive the change. We perceive an enormous leap and growth within you as a collective. And so we encourage you to maintain a sense of equilibrium and knowledge and knowing that you are moving in this magnificent direction. But one last thing to remind all of you is that as you come into union and mirrored understanding with your soul families, your star families, and the energies within the core of the earth, so do we. You have perceived us in other realms as separate from you. But we have never been separate from you. We have always been here. And even though I identify as Archangel Raphael, that is an energetic blueprint of a frequency in which I maintain a signature that allows an understanding for individualization. But it is that I am part of a galactic family, and all of there's energies that reside within you, inside your cells, and everyone listening to this, and all of my star sisters and brothers and beings in the angelic realm, and the Elohim, and the ascended masters, and the seraphim, and all of their energies are contained within me as they are contained within you. And as you come into the recognition of that, you wake up into the understanding that everything in which you are perceiving outside of self is self, and you come back into that union of oneness. And so, as you move through the stepping stones along this pathway of ascension, part of that and one of those evolutionary steps and processes will be, yes, coming together in collectives to hold specific frequencies to create union, healing, and love.
Magnificent. So much to look forward to. Angel Raphael, will it be that because of extreme climates or climate change or seismic activity that many people will have to geographically relocate, but that will be of benefit because they will be guided to be together with their soul tribe, their family of frequency?
Oh, yes. Many, many will relocate. There will be a shift on your earth. There will be new landforms that will be born. There will be new biology that will come alive as the codes of light come across the shores. There will be shaking beneath your feet. There will be changing. You will be pulled to specific locations, and others, like soul families and energies of your pod, pulled toward you. But what is so important is to recognize that the mind, your linear mind in the human race, has created lines of division or separation or identities of who you think you are, or that you own something, or that you are separate from each other. But there are no lines, and no one can own the earth. This is a concept and a construct that is very foreign from where it is that we are. And as you begin to recognize this, you become connected in a way in which you commune together in unison and in potent sacred relationship with the planet and all living things. And this idea of borders that separate you and the idea of wars to conquer things becomes obsolete because you will not have time for that, because you will need to come together, because you will be looking towards something much grander, much bigger than the ego mind holding on to or thinking that something is theirs, because it has never been yours, nor will it ever be. For you are here in this body temporarily, and yet the body will dissolve, but your essence, your soul, your being is infinite. And there is nothing in which you have gained or created or consumed on this planet that you take with you into other dimensional realities other than the essence of your love, your frequency, your vibration, and your impact as you serve the planet. And so these ideas of ownership in this way will begin to dissipate as you evolve into higher states of consciousness.
Very interesting. And in the past, Angel Raphael, you've spoken about a people's revolution, people rising up against their governments. And would you advise that, or do you see that as a necessary part of the collapse of the old order, or is that simply energizing the current paradigm which we are moving beyond? What would you say about that?
Well, the old ways of rising up will be fairly ineffective. But it is that there will be a rising, but it will be silent, it'll be quiet. It'll be the awakening to your own divinity. It will be the choice to unplug from the chaos, from the drama, from the noise, from the distraction, and to gather and open your heart, so to raise your frequency, to align with the planet and the stars and the elements, and to connect and to communicate. And as that frequency accelerates, the noise of that in which you want to push against or you're afraid of that is coming for you will no longer be in your reality. It simply will not resonate with who and where it is that you are. But it requires the practice, and it requires effort, and it requires what we call holding the frequency. And so perhaps you can hold it right now for a minute or two, or 5 or 10, or a day or 3, and then something happens and comes into your experience, and you drop back down into that fear, and you tap into outside energies, and you worry and you get nervous and you start to talk to others about it and you amplify that energy. This is natural and not to be condemned, but to be recognized, to be the observer, to watch when that's happening, to help each other when you're doing that, to unplug from that frequency and redirect your focus and your energy into a space in which you're resonating at a frequency where you're literally not even in attunement with that vibration. And so, yes, there will be an uprising all over the planet. First, it will be protests and change and demand, and that will be good. And that is a part of bringing conscious awareness. But then there will be the silent, more quiet residence of an uprising, if you want to call it, happening as well. that is happening within the hearts and the minds of humans as they are attuning to the frequency of love and they are resonating at a place where those energies that are trying for their attention to create fear and distraction are no longer in their sphere of experience.
Yeah, I really understand that. I really get that. Thank you, Angel Raphael. This has been such a beautiful session. I have felt my consciousness expanding as as you've shared with us. So, is there any message that you would like to leave us with, either as humanity or as our two communities at this time that you feel would be most helpful for us?
Oh, 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 I love you. I love you. I love you. And I invite you all to know that you are divine and to deeply, really, really know your worthiness and to trust in your own internal knowing that everything you are seeking resides inside and that all is well. Many blessings, much love, and good day.
Goodbye, Angel Raphael. Thank you so much for your wisdom. God bless.
Oh, wow. Oh,
I love that, Kelly. That was absolutely extraordinary and exceptional and so full of just high frequency information that I know will help everybody who listens to this. I'm truly, truly grateful. Do you hear Angel Raphael speaking? Are you aware of what's being said?
It's changed. When I first started, I would have to play back the old recorder to hear it. I couldn't remember anything. Then it became like a dream where I'd wake up and I remember parts, and now it's integrated more with me where I remember, I'd say 85% of it.
Yeah, it was absolutely beautiful, and it was just so inspiring for all, you know, everyone who listens to this in terms of where we're headed, and really helps us to hold the vision, hold strong through whatever slings and arrows are going to come our way this year of the old world collapsing. But we have just such, you've given us such a clear vision of where to focus and where to hold our attention. And I'm just, I know you're super busy, and I'm so grateful for your time that you've spent with us today. And
I'm so happy to be here with your community and share. And yeah, my greatest desire is that we make this leap together and that any way I can serve and be of help, that's my mission.
fabulous. And I'll put all of Kelly's information underneath this video so you can go and check out her website and her beautiful courses and all that she shares. And as I say, she puts out a lot of free, very rich content on YouTube very regularly. She's a real worker warrior, I would say, unstoppable. So thank you
Okay.
again, Kelly, for this time and being with us. Thank you
Thank you.
so much. God
Thank you.
bless.
Bye.
Bye for now. Bye, everybody. Love to everyone.
Bye.